Welcome to Oaklet Shawl vlog. My name is Michelle and I'm coming to you from a mid-sized city in Ontario, Canada. I am currently between jobs and I am a gardener and a spinner and a knitter and a mom and a wife and all those things. But I'm currently staying at home and just taking care of our extensive gardens and our dogs and care of my adult children who are still home, of course, because that's the way it is now. Our youngest is actually only just 20 and he's off to college today for his first day of culinary arts. So we're pretty pleased for him. Yeah, so I recognize that the last episode I recorded, I really didn't do a very good job introducing myself. I think I was nervous and I just jumped into it. And then my initial intention was to film one every month, but then of course it was summer. And here we do a lot of gardening. We have a pretty large city property, and we also rent a quarter-acre field from a nearby farm. So pretty much, unless it's storming outside, we are going to be in the gardens. And this year, it only rained twice all summer. So recording a video just didn't seem like something I was gonna do at any time. And then now things are winding down and there's a lot more food preservation happening. So I'm in the house more and got me thinking about wool a bit more, and lately the nights have been cool again, so it's time. So welcome. I was pretty excited to see as many views as I got on my first video. I expected nothing more than 3 or 4, maybe some of my friends or something. So that was pretty exciting and it really encouraged me to continue. One of the reasons that I wanted to start a vlog, I don't want to call it a podcast because I think I'm including more things than knitting, but one of the reasons I wanted to begin was because I really love being a maker, and I don't necessarily always have people that are excited about it as much as I am here with me where I live. So I thought if I reach out to the greater community, then maybe I have somebody to share my joy with. I certainly get a lot of joy seeing everybody's projects, and I love watching other people's podcasts and seeing what they're making. And you know, it's just a tiny little place of beauty in today's crazy world. I find it very peaceful just seeing what everyone's up to, and I wanted to lend my voice. So anyway, all of that being said, I think I'm going to begin. I'm going to try to keep it somewhat traditional in the order of how things are supposed to go, but I don't know, I have a lot of things to talk about, so hopefully it's not too long. Yeah, I'm going to actually check, see if this is actually on. Okay, it was on. I'm also not technologically advanced, as I shared in my first video. Right now you are tied with an elastic onto an IKEA lamp. That's the floor lamp, so that's the best I could do right now. Let's see, what should I start with? I'll start with my tea. So being a gardener, we grow a lot of herbs, and we also forage for a lot of different plants and things. So every year we try to forage for lots of herbs for tea, because our whole family drinks copious amounts of herbal tea. We probably go through a couple gallons a day, especially through COVID when everyone was working and studying from home. I would make a large 4-liter, I guess those big thermos things, you know, with the pump. I would make 2 of those a day, so I'd make one after breakfast and one before dinner. So we go through lots and lots and lots of herbs. So far I have tried 4 gallons worth of herbal tea mixes, so I couldn't tell you what's in this. Basically what I do is I just walk around the garden and just pick everything I can get my hands on, dry it, and then I'm looking at the big drying racks, whatever's on those drying racks, my husband built me these huge drying racks, whatever's on them that's dry and ready, I just crumble up, put it in a jar, I put a little moisture absorber, tighten the jar, put it away. My aim is to try to get about 6 gallons of tea. It sounds like a lot, but it's really not for 4 adults. It's not that much. Anyway, to get tea plants. So it could be anything from mint to bergamot to, this one has a lot of nettle I think today. I did go foraging for linden because that's one of our favorites. Chamomile we grow. I'm not going to name everything. Flower petals, roses. This year we really are trying to grow enough for the non-growing season. So being in Ontario, Canada, that's most of the year that we have cold and no growing. So we're gonna try and see if we can go without buying tea this year, which is a big lofty goal. Anyhow, so this one here smells like nettle and lemon verbena. It's going to be primarily, and it's in this beautiful mug that my friend Christine bought me. I love this mug. It's my special mug. And as a coaster, I have, might be a little bit dirty actually, I have a macrame heart that my friend Paula made me. Oh, there's a hair on it. So they go together over here in my little knitting corner. It's delicious. It's perfect. Anyhow, I'm going to get started. Hopefully it's not too much rambling and I'm not talking too fast or too loud or too quiet. I turned the camera around this time so I'm not looking at myself. Hopefully that's better. All right, so I'm going to start with whips. I have them on the chair here and they kind of go in order behind me, I think. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the Oaklet Shawl. I did mention that I was making a shawl from yarn that I had gotten from Coriander Knits. This is a yak, merino, and silk blend, and it's hand dyed by Chantal. And I can show you the colors. Hopefully they come up. This yarn is absolutely beautiful. And I had 2 skeins and I wanted to share with Verka Creations podcast. I'll put the link. And I sent her one. And so the idea was we were each going to knit a shawl at the same time. So I chose the Oaklet Shawl. Now, it did turn out fine. The pattern is beautiful. The pattern's fine. But for some reason, mine turned out very little. So it's more of a shawlette. Anyhow, I can hold it up. It's beautiful. It's so soft. It's been blocked now. It has this beautiful detail on the edge, and you know, I like it really simple like that because then you can really see the colors in the yarn, and Chantal does a really nice job. Lots of jewel tones, you know, really beautiful. However, this is too small for me, I think. I am a shawl wearer almost 24/7. I often fall asleep with a shawl around me. My small shawl is too big to fit in my jacket. I like a lot of bulk around me. I refer to them as my security blankets. I really like wearing a shawl. So this isn't necessarily, I don't think, something I will gravitate toward. And while it does work, like it would work under a more fitted jacket, I think I know a little person that it would look adorable on. So I think I'm going to gift it. So again, that's the Oaklet Shawl. I don't have the designer here, but it'll show up on the screen. So that's a finished object. And I think I finished that one a long time ago, but I remember that I had begun already really working in the field and my hands were so rough. And this is a single ply. It has silk in it, so you know, it sticks to your hands. So this was a bit challenging to finish, but I just pushed through, got it done, because I knew the rougher my hands got, the less I was going to want to work on it. So that's one. Another sort of more long-term project that I had begun in May was to knit my husband like 5 pairs of socks. I got this from Paula at Mrs. D, Stitch by Mrs. D podcast. She does this. She has a basket for her husband, and she has all these yarns for him, and he just chooses yarns, and she just always keeps a pair of socks on the needles for him. And I thought, what a great idea. So my partner loves really rustic wool. He loves the feel of a really rustic pair of socks. They're dry, and he does a lot of walking in the winter. So he likes when they don't slouch in his boots, and they stay dry all day, and they keep him really warm. Some days he does like 20 kilometers of walking in the winter. So tuku wool sock is currently his favorite sock yarn. It used to be Briggs & Little, but I think he likes this one better. I think it's actually tougher, believe it or not. So, sorry, I keep looking down. I have my little notebook with me because I want to try and stay on track. So, real socks. So here are the socks that I had begun in the last video. These are really good for a car project, or we have a nice back deck way in the back with a little fire, and we like to sit back there. So this is a good project to drag outside with me. So I just did a simple, I think this was just a simple 2x2 rib. I think I did them toe up. Yeah, toe up. I did them top down this time. So top down, heel flap and gusset, down to the toe. They are not blocked. Things rarely ever get blocked in this house. My children were young. I would finish one sock and it would just go whoop. I mean, the end of the yarn would still be sticking out the top, and they would just wear it while I knit the second sock. I am very fortunate as a knitter that I have a family that really loves knits. They will wear exclusively hand knit socks if I could knit them fast enough. So anyway, so that's off the needles now, and they belong to him. He hasn't needed to wear them yet, but and I'm a really slow knitter, so I have a lot of other things that I do. So if I could get him 2 or 3 pairs by Christmas, that would be awesome. Because the cold weather is gonna come, and he's gonna need them. So this is again tuku wool. I have no idea of the colorway. I guess I should probably know this. It's this beautiful rusty orange. He loves all those warm autumnal tones, so that's what we bought for him. So that's thing 2. Another thing that isn't quite completed, but almost, is this beautiful skein that I finished spinning. Was that last week, I think? This is I'm going to say it the way English people say it's Rambouillet, but it's Rambouillet, Romney Cross by Twin Oaks Fiber Farm. It's very squishy, but it's not so buttery soft that you can feel it won't pill very easily. Like, it still has a good bit of tooth, but no itch at all. Here it is in the roving, and I have a few balls left to ply. So this is very, very close to done. So if you're a spinner, this isn't much fiber. I probably next episode will do a little bit more in depth on my spinning. I have been spinning for a really long time. Anyways, more about this yarn. This is a fingering to heavy fingering weight. This is naturally colored. It's a beautiful gray-brown. I don't know what this color would be classed as. It's gray-brown, warm gray. Yeah, I cannot wait to knit with this. It's so squishy. It's everything I love about wool. So I don't know. I'm going to swatch it. I don't know how it will knit up. I don't think it will have much drape, as you can see. But I have had on my Ravelry, I'm terrible at Ravelry. I feel like I have too many things to do. I cannot keep track of all these things. But on my Ravelry, I have had in my queue or in my favorites or something, Waiting for Rain by Sylvia McFadden. I've had that shawl there forever. So I was hoping to get enough yardage to maybe make that. Because this summer, all I have done is wait for rain, and I just feel like it's really fitting, maybe in September, to cast this on. Once all the tomatoes are in and the peppers are smoked and everything's done, maybe. So that's going. I do have, from my previous job, it's not a job, from my previous employment, I was self-employed. I do have some shoulder problems now, and so spinning, I have my wheel here. I'll do a little more in depth on my wheel sometime soon. Spinning can actually be really painful. So right now it's really flared up because of all the farming and gardening. So spinning's a little bit tricky. I can only do it in tiny little bits, and then I gotta stop because it really flares up that shoulder. So yeah, so that's the third thing. Okay, so then that's kind of a work in progress. It's not really done, but that skein is done. So squishy. So then, take a sip of my tea. I hope I'm not rambling. If you can hear snoring, my enormous mastiff is on the couch right there beside me. I hope she doesn't come and bother me. She likes to be very, very close to me all the time, so usually she'll be laying at my feet, which I hope she stays asleep and doesn't come and bother me. Maybe I'll stick a little video of her in at the end. She's a big, beautiful Argentine Dogo, and she's my little companion. She snores. All right, so next I have a lot of other works in progress, but it's just a little bit too much to show all at once after 3 months of not vlogging. Okay, so these are sort of finished, sort of works in progress. Not knitting though. So this beautiful fabric was bought by my youngest. He wanted to make a really loud, lovely pair of flannel PJ bottoms for himself. These are massive. He's not this size. It's just the way he cut them. He decided to just go ahead and just cut out the fabric, and he was just going to make them himself. But then what happened is he kind of cut it all crooked. He didn't buy enough. So just the other day, I just quickly put an elastic band around the bottom and the waist, and now he can sort of wear them. I mean, they're not perfect. They're not haute couture, but he has these lovely flannel PJs for the cold weather coming, and he's already started wearing them. So that's pretty well finished. He's wearing these. They don't need anything else. Then my eldest son, last spring, I think, or maybe even last fall. I hope it wasn't last fall. He picked out this fabric. I'm not very good at sewing. I plan, you'll see, I'll talk about it soon. I do plan on trying to improve, but sewing is not my first love. So I'm kind of just making myself do it. It feels, it doesn't feel like knitting, because I feel like knitting, you can make the same mistake 5 times and undo it, and it's fine. It's like once you cut that fabric, that's it. So it feels like riskier somehow. I don't know why. Okay, so I did get him this nice flannel. This is one of these really nice weaves where both color, it's the weave, the color's woven in rather than just stamped on. It's a nice heavy grade. Again, these, I cut them out so massively huge, but maybe if I, so what's happened with these is the flannel's quite heavy, and I didn't plan for an elastic in the waist. So then I just made this tie, which I was really proud of actually. I made a tie for it, for him to wear like this, and I made the pockets really big, which I think all of this makes them unwearable because the tie isn't quite big enough for his little waist. It's long enough, but it's not wide enough, so it doesn't kind of hold on. So he'll wear it, and then they'll start like falling down. So now, after this, actually, I'm going to bike over to the fabric store and see if I can't get some elastic. I'm really not good at this. I wish I was. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to just improve. Yeah, we have a lovely little fabric shop here that also has sewing classes, like how to make your own clothes. And when I worked too much when I was a workaholic. I remember wishing that one day I'll have time to do that, and I think now is one day. And I think maybe late fall or early winter, maybe I will just go ahead and get myself a nice little class where I can learn how to do all the fancy things, so my kids get nicer pajama bottoms next year. Anyways, those are almost done, so they're kind of in progress. Another one I've been working on a lot lately, I think I did show it in the last video, but it was only just begun, is this sweater for my youngest. This is not really a pattern that I can share so much as it's described in Elizabeth Zimmerman's Knitting Without Tears. This is going to be the saddle shoulder, I think it's the saddle shoulder jersey. I used the proportions in that pattern. And then I started it bottom up. So what I've done is, well, first I spun the yarn. So this is 2-ply. 1-ply is Romney by Twin Oaks Fiber Farm, that huge fleece that I purchased. And the other is some Cormo that I got from, oh, I don't think I have it nearby, some Cormo that I got from Hopeful Shetlands, who is no longer raising sheep, and I applied them together. And it makes this pretty rustic woolly yarn, but it's not very itchy actually, it's really nice. It smells amazing. So I did that. And I think when it's do I have the swatch? I have a swatch up there, but I'm not going to get up to get it. When it's blocked, it actually comes out like DK maybe. So that's the yarn. And then, so my idea was, my youngest likes to dress pretty sophisticated. You know, he doesn't want too many, I mean, those are pajama bottoms, he doesn't like that, but you know, he usually for his knitwear, he'll choose grays or browns, kind of darker colors. But on the inside the house, he will choose like really loud pajamas or really bright colored socks. So I came up with the idea of making a folded hem. So here's the sweater so far. And then I'm gonna do a folded hem with a hidden rainbow. So this will be flipped up and tacked to the inside. So on the outside, you're only gonna see naturally colored yarn, and then on the underside, be a whole rainbow. And I think I'll do it on the sleeves too. I haven't figured out how I could do it on the collar because I think it's kind of a rolled hem, but I'm going to do it on the sleeves for sure. These colors, these beautiful muted rainbow colors that are right here, were a set of minis that I picked up from Loving Path yarn, dyed by Debbie, one of our local dyers, and look at the colors of this. And I saw it on the table and I didn't even know what I was going to do with it. I just wanted it. Especially this teal that has so many other colors in it. There's like a more green, and then there's browns. Oh, it's really beautiful. Debbie, you do a good job. I think I could probably do a whole vlog just on the yarn I have in stash of hers. She is an indie dyer, but I don't want to say but. She is an indie dyer, and her aesthetic really appeals to me. Like, it's just beautiful. The way she plays with color, her colors are always just stunning to me. I love the muted, more natural tone of it, and she does such a great job with that. Okay, so that's another work in progress, is my little one's sweater, which, to be honest, I really, like, in the summer, it's kind of a little hard to get a lot of knitting time because I'm pretty much working outside till dark, and then my arms are done. I can't work anymore. But I did get some of this done. Okay. Future plans. Oh yeah, I have Reese new sock here. Okay, so I finished the orange socks for real. Then I started the mustard ones. So I finished one, started another, toe up this time. Again, tuku wool, this beautiful sort of mustard green. It's kind of on a dark base. I can see it's on a gray base. It's beautiful. I wanted to make this one a little bit different. So I did toe up, then a solid row of just pearl, and then I did this little sort of diagonal, just with pearl stitches, just these little diagonal bars, and then I ended it with some 4x1 rib. And then I think this is a fish lips kiss heel. I'm not sure actually. It's just always the heel that I use on toe-up socks. No, it's like a German short row heel. I don't know. Anyways, there's the heel. And so this will be his second pair. And so now this is the one that I bring in the car or in the backyard with me. It's this lovely color. Oh my goodness, hair everywhere. And I keep it in my cord knitting bag by Mimi Must Knit. You've probably already seen this bag. I use it a lot. It looks like it could use a wash. And it has another color inside. I love knitting bags. I love knitting bags. These changed my life. I can take my knitting anywhere and all that's sticking out is one little strand of yarn. I prefer actually the drawstring to the zipper. This next one I'll show you, has a zipper. I love the drawstring, that the yarn doesn't get caught in anything. I love these, so thank you, Milan. Take another sip of tea. My gosh, this is not talking. I'm really glad we picked so much tea. I have to not give up. I have to go get the last of them out of the garden, and any nettle I find, and I think I still have some lemon balm that's kind of making it come back, like it flowered, and then yeah, so I have to just make sure I just keep at it. Don't give up. It's been a terrible gardening year. All right, what's next? Okay, so next things are kind of dreamy things. So as I mentioned, I'm not very good at sewing, but I'm trying. These pants I have on, I don't know if I should stand up to show them or put a picture in. Let me see if I can stand up. Might not work. These are linen pants that were commercially purchased. I love these pants. I can bike in them. You know, I'm not young anymore, and I certainly don't want anything form-fitting or, you know, tight, cuts in, or anything like that. These pants are a dream. I love them. I've been wearing them all summer. They've lost a lot of their dye. I'll have to re-dye them. They're a nice linen pant. Wore them all summer. So I'll stand up and show you, I think. I don't know if I can show you. Okay, so they have an elastic waistband here, and they just tie with a tie. And they're way too big, and they're not very flattering, and I don't care. I love them. So then I was in a thrift store with the kids, and I found these, which are similar, except that they're a double gauze fabric. And these are already a made pair of pants, but they were not my size. So now I want to try to turn them into a pair of pants I can wear. So I've cut the elastic to try to kind of examine what the full size of fabric that I have. And I initially thought, oh, maybe I'll make a skirt, but I have a linen skirt and I actually don't really gravitate toward it. I don't find it super convenient for my life. So, okay, I think I'm gonna cut the waistband off, just take it off, and then put a drawstring in, although I have not had good experience with the pajamas. And then the middle needs to be brought up. It's way too low, it kind of hangs at my knees, but the ankle part is fine. So I think I'm gonna cut the middle out and go up a little bit higher and then cinch the waist. Does that sound like a good idea? I'm not sure what it's going to look like. And honestly, I don't care. Like, as long as they stay on and they're comfortable, I almost don't care what they look like. These pants also have fabulous pockets, nice big pockets, which I don't want to lose those. And it's a really nice color, and the fabric is really soft, and the kicker is they were $6.99. So just for the fabric, I bought it. Now I gotta make something out of it. So because I'm a little bit stuck and frozen and I don't know what to do, I decided to make a shirt that goes with it. So in here, again, Mimi Must Knit made me this bag, and this one has a zipper. I got myself some linen. Oof, I forgot to write down what it was. I got it at Espace Tricot here in Canada, in Montreal. I got this very fine French linen. It comes in a cone. It's so fine though. I don't know what I was thinking. So I'm holding it double. And I'm knitting got the name of it. It's called Summer Light by Sumi Okada. And it's just kind of a gauzy blouse, I would say. It's going to be too late to wear it by the time I'm done. But I could wear it over a long sleeve shirt or something. Okay, so I guess I should have set this up before. I just dropped a stitch marker. So it's a top-down construction, really simple, and it doesn't use a lot of yardage, which is what I was excited about, because once I've held this double, I only had like 600 and something yards, I think, maybe 7. So I was a little nervous about that. I'm not a small busted person, so I need lots of yardage. So this one starts at the top, and it has these little eyelets in a chevron pattern. If you can see that. It is jet black also, so it's not good for evening knitting. So I generally do it outside or in the morning with coffee for a few rows, so it's not moving super fast. I'm about to split for sleeves because even though I can't really demo, it sits kind of low, and it is quite see-through, so you are to wear like a tank top or something underneath. I love the linen. It is very hard on the hands. But as I'm knitting it, it's already softening up. Like this one is way softer. So I love the feel of linen and cotton in the summer as little white sweaters. So if this goes well, I'll make another one maybe. Let's see how it turns out. Anyhow, but the reason I started it is to go with this. But I'll make this a bit more cropped than in the pattern, because I think these are going to be very sort of wide and oversized. So this should be a little bit cropped because I'm really short in the midsection. So yeah, hopefully I could get this done for maybe before the cold comes. We'll see. I don't know. Anyhow, so that's that. What else have I got here? I think this is it. This is my last project to talk about. So as I talked about before briefly, I'm going to put a little footage here, but I also am an animal lover, and as well as dogs and chickens and everything else, I also own 2 beautiful, really fancy Angora rabbits. I have 2 English Angoras. They are house rabbits, but they are also helpful for the garden, so I use them for their fertilizer for the garden as well. But since I'm a spinner, this is the really great kind of rabbit breed for me. They are a lot of maintenance. I need to groom them pretty well every second day. You know, it's a lot of work. They're very sweet-tempered rabbits. They do have some special dietary requirements because of their fur. Yeah, but they're a joy. They're just a joy. Their names are Bosco and Sova, and I did take a little footage of me just brushing out before I get ready to shear. Well, I don't shear her actually, I just brush out her loose fur. Sova is the one with me in the video. Her mom is a prize-winning rabbit, and you'll see she's quite fluffy. So here are some combed, I guess you'd call them roll eggs, because of Angora's nature, because it's so wispy and fine. It's actually really difficult to card on the drum carder because it tends to kind of fold over and make little neps, which I actually really like the look of when I get a little nep, but I think for most purposes we want them in Rolex, and then it's just like, you can see it sticking to my fingers. It's so fine. So right now I know that, you know, most people when they want something fluffy right now, they just think kid mohair. And Wellington Fibers, I've certainly bought kid mohair from her before and I've loved it. I love working with it. The thing about it is I always find, for some reason, I find mohair really, really itchy. But it obviously can't find this itchy. This is literally rabbit fluff. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to make myself one of these lovely fuzzy sweaters, holding one strand of, I have some Plotulopi here that is pretty much the same color. This is Bosco, my male rabbit. This is his fur. Pretty close in color. So I'd like to do one strand of Plotulopi and then a strand of Angora. Maybe I would, when I spin it, I think I'd give it a brush or something to kind of fuzz it up a bit, and see what I come up with. So these are future plans, but I still have Sam's sweater to do, so I'm not even close to this yet. But I was thinking something really lovely, like I knit the, is it called the Wednesday sweater by Petite Knits, with that really nice turtleneck. And I thought that would be a really nice sweater for myself. Yeah. So hopefully that will come soon, and I gotta get spinning, and hopefully my shoulder issues will resolve and I can spend more time on my wheel. Yeah, so I think that is it for today. Certainly gone on long. Yeah, I don't have much else to talk about really, except that this weekend is the KW Knitters Fair. It's going to be on September 10th. Looking forward to that. I do not need any yarn. I do not need any fiber. But I'm going to go anyway. And I'll share. I'm terrible for this, but I'll hopefully get some video. I went to the Sunflower Festival at Revolution Wool Co. It was so lovely. It was such a lovely day. I didn't video a single thing. I don't know why. Totally forgot. I was having so much fun and it was so lovely. I really loved going. So I'm going to try to do better for the Knitters Fair. And then on October 15th is the Woolstock. It is now at the Paris Fairgrounds. And this I really, really love going. Still think I won't need anything by then, but I'll try to get some video to share here. I also thought maybe, I don't know if I should talk more about my spinning and maybe show you my yarn stash and my spinning stash next video. We'll see. It won't take as long. I'm going to be more diligent about it now, because that was a really large pile. Anyways, if you're still here, thank you for staying. And yeah, if you have any suggestions about the Plotulopi paired with the Angora rabbit, leave a comment down below. I would love to know. Or if you've knit Waiting for Rain, if you've knit this shawl, I would love to hear about it. These are future plans. My plan is, once I'm finished all of these family projects, like the projects for my family, I'd like to take a solid 12 months of just knitting for myself, or making, like sewing and knitting. I really want to try to do this, because I think most knitters, I don't know most knitters, no. I think a lot of knitters, if you have family members who love your knitting, I end up with less knit items than them. Like my husband has, he gets 2 hats a year easily. And I've had the same beanie for, I'm going to say 10 or 12 years. So it's time for me to knit for myself. Anyhow, before I go off on another tangent, I'm going to end it there. Yeah, I'll put more video at the end. And yeah, thanks for joining.